over the years, there have been some major scandals and mishaps when it comes to Miss Universe. And in this video, I am planning to talk about 6 of these forgotten, honestly, mishaps that have happened in relation to Miss Universe. The other day I made a video about 7 forgotten Miss Universe scandal, and this has sent me honestly down this rabbit hole of Miss Universe scandals. It has led me to fully take a look at the deep, dark, treacherous depths of the Miss Universe scandal iceberg. And honestly guys, I am so obsessed and into this, and without further ado, let's just jump right into the very first Miss Universe scandal that I want to talk about.
Bruh.
So I don't know how many of you guys would actually know about this, but in 2004, our crowned Miss Universe Jennifer Hawkins from Australia, during her reign, was doing this sort of fashion show in which she participated in. And the thing is that during the fashion show, unfortunately, she had a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction, by which I mean her skirt fell off and it fully exposed her butt cheeks. Well, not fully, she had like this teeny tiny thong on, but keep in mind guys, this was in 2004, the absolute heights of tabloid culture, so this was sort of a big deal and people were actually kind of making fun of her. But guys, at least she has this body. I mean, I wouldn't even be shy. I would have kept walking normal pace, my guy, if I had a body like this. But she was very mortified, of course, and she ran off with her arms behind her back, basically. And it's not really a scandal. I mean, it's not her fault or whatever, but this is really something that got people going and got people talking in 2004 when it came to Miss Universe.
Bruh.
Keeping to the theme of nudity, we have to talk about Miss Universe Colombia 2011 apparently going commando. Yes, there was this whole thing. She was wearing this orange dress and they were all at an event, and a photographer unfortunately took a very unfortunate picture which made it seem like she had absolutely no underwear on underneath this dress. Pictures of this widely available online. It doesn't really show anything, which is why I am skeptical about whether or not she was really going commando or whether or not her underwear just matched her skin exceptionally well. Who knows? But it didn't end there. Apparently the story came out that she had to be spoken to by Miss Universe staff about wearing panties. And you know what, I don't like the way that this story was phrased in the media, because it makes it seem like, you know, Miss Universe Colombia was some sort of like savage that didn't know to wear underwear. Anyway, the woman in question, Catalina Robayo, eventually actually ended up placing in the top 16 at Miss Universe that year.
Bruh.
The next story also includes a Miss Universe Colombia. Unfortunately, this is a bit more of a villain story than, you know, something fun or funny that happened. As we all know, in 2018, Miss Universe had their very first transgender contestants. Of course, this was Miss Universe Spain 2018, Angela Ponce, and Miss Universe was held in Thailand that year. Unfortunately, Miss Universe Colombia of that year, Valeria Morales, did not agree that trans women should be competing at Miss Universe, and she said Miss Universe is for women who were born women. And she fully knew that Miss Universe has allowed trans women for years at this point. Miss Universe started allowing trans women in 2012 already at this point. Of course, there were no trans women competing at Miss Universe until 2018, but she fully knew that if she wanted to compete at Miss Universe, there would be a chance that there would be a trans woman, since Miss Universe allowed trans women. So I don't know even how you can begin to think about saying something like this, especially to the press, this makes you look so just ancient-minded. I don't even have a better way to say this. Anyway, so Angela came out. She took the high road. She didn't really say anything about it. She, honestly, she made no big deal about it. She basically said she was there to represent trans people. She wasn't there to change anybody's mind about anything, and her participation, basically was just for representation, and she didn't want to step on anyone's toes. She basically gave a very diplomatic response to this situation, as befitting a queen. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, neither of these women placed at Miss Universe 2018, and I definitely think that Valeria Morales' unplacement at Miss Universe 2018 was heavily fueled by her attitude, and not necessarily only her attitude about trans women, but perhaps the people working with her did see that she wasn't necessarily the kindest person. I mean, Miss Universe is open to trans women, so the message is that the crowned Miss Universe represents all women and not only women who were born as women, as Valeria so nonchalantly stated it. And although Angela unfortunately did not play, she was honored at the event, getting an opportunity to walk the stage, holding the sash with her country's name up in the air, which was a very poignant moment. I think everybody who watched that edition live can agree with me.
Bruh.
Okay guys, I promise this will be the last one including Colombia, but they are involved in so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this one is about David Letterman, the very famous late night talk show host from the US. Of course, I'm sure a lot of US people would know him. And he made this very unfortunate joke back in 2001 concerning Miss Universe Colombia's participation at Miss Universe. And he actually said that her talent for the non-existent Miss Universe talent competition, by the way, was swallowing 50 bags full of illicit substances. And he basically said that this woman's talent for Miss Universe talent competition was to swallow 50 baggies full of illicit substances, which of course you guys know back in the day, and I think even now this is still a very popular way to smuggle illicit substances across borders. And first of all, I have so many issues with this joke, but first of all, Miss Universe has not now, or even in 2001, or even ever, I think, really had a talent competition. And I think this man is confusing Miss Universe either with Miss America or Miss World. But, if you're gonna make a joke, at least make an educated joke. And the woman representing Colombia, Andrea, of course, was very offended by this, as anyone would be. And she was, really, really outraged. And this guy, David Letterman, eventually apologized, as well as invited her on his late night talk show. And they talked a little bit about Colombia, and she said, there's a really unfortunate stigma against Colombia because of drugs, but Colombia actually produces the best quality coffee in the world, which, let's be real, is my drug of choice. So eventually that whole thing sorted itself out, and you know what? I think David Letterman sort of redeemed himself by eventually inviting her on and allowing her to speak about the more positive qualities of her country.
Bruh.
As Miss Universe has moved further and further into the 21st century, it has become pretty apparent that the social media sphere has become ever more important when it comes to the pageant industry. And in 2017, there was actually a thing where countries could vote for their favorites on Twitter using hashtags. And this would secure your fave a spot in the final. So for example, if you wanted to vote for Jamaica, you would say hashtag Miss Universe, hashtag Jamaica. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, right? Well, unfortunately for Miss Universe, technology was not on their side. And one of the most big and passionate pageant countries in the world suffered from this, because for the Philippines, every time they typed in hashtag Philippines to vote for their Filipina queen, the Philippines in their hashtag was automatically replaced with Thailand, which is just insane. And I can just imagine the amount of outrage. And so understandably and rightfully so, a lot of people started complaining to the Miss Universe organization that whenever they typed in a certain country, it would be replaced automatically by another country's name, and this would cause confusion when it came to counting votes, etc. So Miss Universe at the end of the day had to, say, listen, there has been so much confusion and, technical difficulties basically, that they were going to be scrapping the idea of Twitter votes counting towards who actually ended up in the finals. And luckily for Miss Universe, voting on Twitter wasn't the only way that they were determining fan votes. You can also vote on the Miss Universe website, and as well as other ways. I can't remember all of them, but eventually Twitter votes became null and void.
Bruh.
The last one, I feel like we all know, but I feel like we don't nearly talk about how stupid this was. Okay, let's talk about the very first Miss Universe. The very first Miss Universe was held on the 28th of June 1952, in which Armi Kusila from Finland won. But she actually resigned as the very first Miss Universe to get married to a man named Virgilio Hilario on the 4th of May 1953. She was barely 18. Keep in mind, she won Miss Universe when she was 17. She was barely 18 when she got married to this man. But not only got married to this man, but gave up her Miss Universe title to get married to this guy. And what really gets me about this, I know that we look at marriage differently nowadays, but what really gets me about this is that Miss Universe 1953 happened literally only 8 weeks, like 2 months, after she got married to this guy on the 17th of July 1953, where Christian Martel of France was crowned, of course. Couldn't she just have waited? Couldn't she just have waited like 6 more months or something to get married to this guy? Like, why did she? It annoys me so much that she decided to give up her title in order to get married at such a young age. I know we look at things differently nowadays, and back in the day, getting married at 18 was something that a lot of people did. But for me, the fact that she gave up the title to get married when, like, literally 8 weeks after she was married, she could have handed over the title herself, it just grinds my gears. Because it's not like she wasn't replaced as Miss Universe, let's be clear. Since she got married, since she resigned, up until the new Miss Universe was crowned, there was no replacements. Although I do think that she must have resigned a little bit before she got married, probably around the time she was engaged or something. Sure, they could have possibly replaced her with a first runner-up, but I do not think they wanted to draw attention to this anyway. Plus, Miss Universe was kind of new. We wouldn't know what exactly happened. But in my opinion, she could have waited and at least crowned the next Miss Universe. But at the end of the day, some actress named Julie Adams had to crown the next Miss Universe at Miss Universe 1953. Let me know which of these you guys knew about. Do you guys want me to do another video like this? Like I said, I really enjoyed going down the rabbit holes and looking at all of these things that people just forget happen at Miss Universe. It's so much fun just to get into the nitty-gritty little forgotten thingies that nobody can remember anymore. Like, for example, Miss Universe 1952 quitting to get married at 18. Oh my goodness. Like, just imagine. Miss Universe 2022 is basically 2 months away. Imagine Harnaz quitting to get married right now. Outrage, carnage, it would be chaos. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on these things that happened. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.